Is up, everyone? How you guys doing? Welcome to another episode of Passport Blueprint. Today we are talking about citizenship and residency in Paraguay, and we got some special guests coming in to this show. Just waiting for them to pop up, or at least a few of them popping up. And these guests are pretty much familiar with Paraguay. Give us a lot of their insights, their personal insights to this, to the whole Paraguay situation. Living there, what it's like, process. Plus the video, we're going to see one of the guys who's in Paraguay. Well, he bounces between Paraguay and Colombia. We're going to comment on his video. We're also going to throw Mexico in the mix, which will be quite interesting. And going to have this wonderful conversation. I'm looking forward to it. Hit the like button when you come on in. Greatly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, salute my brother Ulysses. Hey, kind of noticed a little wrench next to you, right? Yeah, I decided to put that for you and Buck when you guys come in. I think you guys earned it. So you guys are my mods. If you could, a couple of people in the let me see what I got you guys doing for me. Salute Buck. What's going on? If you notice, you got your sign's a little blue with a little blue wrench next to it too. So you two are now mods on my channel. So I'm just waiting on some guests to pop in here. I sent out the link. I hope they got it, but if you guys could, when these guys come on, if you can go to their channel. I don't know if you guys want to sit back. I know I sent the link to Ulysses, so if you want to pop in, fine. I didn't send one to Buck because I didn't have your email, but I'll post the link later on just in case you want to join. But Buck, if you can hang back, play mod for me in the chat, and what you can do is when the guest comes in, if you can go to their YouTube page and just post their YouTube channel up on there, so we can get some of the people over there to subscribe to their channels. I greatly appreciate it. Saint Cyr, what up, brother? How you been, man? Jesus, man, where you been hiding at, man? Jesus Christ. Gotta cut that hide and seek away from me, bro. I've been good, dude. I think we got one of our guests. I'm gonna add him to the stage. Alex.
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on?
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
All right, Alex. This is our first guest. I got two more guests coming on. Hey, Buck, could you grab Alex YouTube page and post it? So we can get him some more subscribers on there. We like to share the love. We're pretty positive. We're a positive group out here. We like to get, subscribers on other people's channels that post positive stuff. So we like to look out for positive YouTubers out here. So
appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Just going through some of the chat. All is well, man. Just doing my thing with school and work. On the way to finish up my supply chain logistic degree with a minor in management. All paid for by my company. Great, man. Yeah, man, that's cool. I got two other guests coming that's all familiar with Paraguay, but while we're waiting on them, could you talk about yourself a little bit?
Yeah, my name's Alex. I'm pretty new to the YouTube world. I started it like 3 months ago. I've been living in Latin America for the past 3 years, since 2022. I think you came across one of my Paraguay videos, and that's why we're on the live stream here. So Paraguay is probably Paraguay is probably my favorite country to live in. I was there for 8 months. I'm currently in Colombia. I'm in Bucaramanga, which is like a smaller city. I've been in Colombia for over a year, so it's another country that I love as well. Originally from the States. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. What else would you like to know?
What countries have you traveled to?
Yeah, so I started out in Colombia. I Medellin, Santa Marta. Then I went to Mexico. I did different cities in Mexico. Guatemala. I mentioned Colombia. So now we're going to South America, Argentina, Paraguay. And the next up is going to be Brazil and Bolivia. I'm probably missing another one in there, but yeah, I think it's six in total, six Latin American countries. But living there, I don't just like visit these places. I live there for months at a time or years.
Okay. Well, what's the average time length you stay in these countries?
3 to 6 months.
Okay.
Paraguay was 8. Colombia's been over a year, but on average, probably 3 to 6. Peru's another one. I might have missed out on Peru.
Peru. Okay. Well, basically, this, since you don't know about this channel, my channel is a travel channel. I basically try to teach people how to travel. I've been in the military,
Cool.
8 years National Guard, 1 deployment to Iraq. I've lived in Israel for 3 years. I've been to Jordan, Canada, Iceland, Brazil. Just came back from Mexico a couple months ago. Got my residency card there.
Nice.
Kind of working on building up the residency, the thing with Mexico, and then also looking at Paraguay as well.
I think Paraguay is easier than Mexico, right?
It all depends. I did it with economic sovereignty, and at the time when I was working, because I got laid off, I barely made the economic sovereignty amount. So once I made that amount, I was in, and now it's just renewing the paperwork. I don't have to prove it, but I just got to do the whole process again.
Yeah, I think Mexico is really good too, because if you're living there for like a little over 6 months, you even get a passport there, right? After 3 years or something like that. Is that right?
Basically, the first card you get is going to be the 1 year, and then after you renew it, it's the 3 year. They'll give you the 3 year, and then on your 3rd year, you can apply for permanent.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's forever. Like, I think Mexico is one of the ones where you don't have to visit or anything like that. And their passport's really good too. So if you can get that, that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, they got a really powerful passport. People sleep on Mexico, but Mexico ain't nothing to sneeze at. They're really good passport. Their process is pretty easy, but with things changing in this geopolitical climate, time for y'all to trying to, instead of going out there, going to countries for pay for play, you better go find a place to, stay, because you may have to go live someplace else if you want that dollar to stretch.
Yeah, look, that's one of the pieces of advice I had to give myself 3 years ago. I don't know who your audience is or how many people are listening, but yeah, if I were to start this over, I would have gotten residencies from day one. Because the reason I didn't start is because I didn't know if this is what I wanted to do long term, like live outside the States. But the sooner you can get these residencies, the better, the easier it's going to be, because these things only get harder, as you know. Every year goes by, it gets a little more difficult, and it just gives you more peace of mind. So I would say start working on that stuff now if you haven't, and if you see yourself outside the States or Canada, wherever you're from.
Yeah, the EU, they're already changing up some of their programs. Montenegro, they got rid of theirs. So that's another one. They're changing their programs around. Well, they stopped theirs. I heard, who was it? Malta, they had stopped their golden visa program. Spain got rid of their golden visa program. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on.
And it's going to keep happening.
This is Ryan. That Ryan over there?
Yes.
That's my other guest.
Yeah,
so Ryan, how you doing, man?
Here, let me get away from the kitchen a little bit.
Okay.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Right. I'm doing fine. Ryan, this is Alex. Alex, this is Ryan. This is my other guest.
Hey,
Nice to
Alex,
meet
how you
right.
doing, my man? Nice to meet
Doing
you.
good, brother. You as well.
So
Cool,
Ryan, you
cool.
are down in Paraguay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So I mean, I could start from the beginning, but I guess most recently I moved here a year ago. Uh, so yeah, I moved here last July. So that makes it's 11 months here, almost a full year. And so my story is a little bit different, right? So I was adopted. Um, and so I was adopted at when I was a baby, pretty much. And I met my family here 13 years ago. And then I fell in love with the country and I kept coming back, right?
Mhm.
And there's a couple of life circumstances that a few years back that I decided, hey, let's try to live in Paraguay. Um, I always knew that I wanted to retire here, but I was like, you know what? Let's try to make it work. I already had a virtual job experience after the pandemic and during the pandemic, and then I decided, you know what? Let's give it a chance. Let's start my channel. Let's do my projects. Let's keep on virtual work. So I moved here to Paraguay a year ago, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And from there, I've been here in San Lorenzo. I don't know if you guys know much about Asuncion metro area, but it's kind of like centralized in the middle of Asuncion.
Cool, cool, cool. Now, I don't know where Aaron's at. I'm waiting on him, but we're going to start. Um, Alex, I hope you didn't mind because I was going to do this review on your video. Um, you had a really great video. This is probably like one of the best breakdowns of a video I've seen. So I kind of wanted to use your video and also throw some input with Mexico. Um, Ulysses, if you want to jump in, since you are, oh, there's Aaron. Hey, Aaron, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me
All
well?
right, guys, Aaron. Ulysses, if you want to jump in, please. Buck, if you can grab these gentlemen's YouTube pages and post them in the chat, I greatly appreciate it. I want to get more subscribers to their channels as well. Um, but I greatly appreciate that. Um, but Ulysses, if you can hop in, since you're in Mexico and stuff like that, I greatly appreciate that as well. You're driving, but I will drop the channel link when I go to. Okay, you're driving. I didn't know that. My bad. Um, if I get a chance, I'll dig in there. If any one of my mods are in there, if y'all, any one of my other mods in there, if y'all can do that, I greatly appreciate it. But yeah, yeah, I wanted to talk more about Paraguay because it's kind of that hidden gem. I'm not trying to pop it off like it's the next hot passport bro spot because that's not what my intentions are. My intentions are just finding a plan B location for people who want to move or want to get residency because obviously geopolitically things are getting hot around the world, particularly with when you look at the whole conflict with Ukraine and Russia, and we're in that mess. Um, then with our economy going on here in the States, I just want to give people opportunities and different chances, to pick where they want to go. So, like I said, this was a really great video. Shout out to Ulysses for sending me this video. So I kind of want to just kind of hit that up a little bit. So let's start it up.
If you're serious about moving to Latin America or even retiring abroad, there are two countries that you absolutely need to have on your radar right now, and that's Paraguay and Colombia. Now, I've lived in both for an extended period of time, more time than I've spent in any other country outside of the US, which is where I grew up. And after spending time in 12 different cities all across Latin America, these are the two countries that consistently stand out and always come up for me. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the pros and cons of each country, from cost of living to dating to lifestyle to which one has better long-term living potential, so that you can figure out which one might be best for you. And by the way, on this channel, I share everything that I've learned about leaving the United States and creating a higher quality of life in Latin America as a man over 30. So if that's interesting to you, be sure to subscribe. Now let's get into the video.
Here's what we'll cover in this video. So in case you want to skip ahead or just kind of look at the ones that you value the most or that resonate with you the most, you can just go ahead and do so. But we're going to start off with cost of living and rent for each country. I'm going to go into residencies, visas, and taxes, as far as is it easy and how expensive they might be, comparatively speaking. We're going to go into safety and stability for each one, the women, as far as dating and feminine energy, lifestyle, weather, and culture, foreigners, tourism, and community, which I'll explain why that's important, language and people, the food and restaurants, and then just overall optionality and things to do.
See, this is what I like about this video. It's just that it really breaks down to the granular of what life is like in these countries. And that's what really drove me. And again, shout out to Ulysses for sending me this video. This was really a good video.
All right, so cost of living being a big one, of course, right? A lot of times people want to move to have a quality of life simply to lower their cost of living, which instantly creates a high quality of life. Now, the cool thing about both Colombia and Paraguay is they both offer really good quality of life for under $2,500 a month USD. All right, you could live like a king in either of these countries if you earn at least that income. It just depends on your lifestyle. All right. So in Asuncion, I lived in the best neighborhoods, Villa Mora, Recoleta, Las Lomas, near Shopping the Sol, for under $1,000 for a beautiful modern apartment, gym, pool, perfect location, right? Everything that you need close by. You could go lower for even less than $1,000 a month. And I'm just
Now, I want to ask you gentlemen a question. Are there any bad neighborhoods per se that's really bad in Asuncion?
I'll go first. I mean, every city's gonna have bad neighborhoods, right? I'm from Boston. Boston has plenty of bad neighborhoods. Asuncion, does it have bad neighborhoods? You know, yeah, but you're probably not gonna live in those neighborhoods. So that's how I'd answer it.
Yeah, it's Aaron or Ryan.
Yeah. Well, exactly like you said. The only one that really sticks out is La Chacarita, which no expat is gonna live there. It's a particular one that's closest to the river, to the bay, of the river of Asuncion, or the Paraguayan River. And the only time you really need to worry about danger is at nighttime. And they're mostly good people in that neighborhood, right? But just if you are, 'cause there's a Calle Palma is a really popular street to go out in. It's really close to this neighborhood, but you don't really want to venture off the streets. It's kind of like New Orleans almost, um, where you don't want to wander off of Bourbon Street. It's the exact
Okay.
same thing. It's the exact same concept of, like, if you're in the Calle Palma, there's other scattered bars, but you don't want to wander too far at nighttime. But you're not going to live there though. But in the new downtown area, yeah, yeah, my man's exactly right. There's pretty much in the new downtown, you're fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd even say, I mean, Calle Parma, that's downtown, right? That's near like the Palacio de Lopez. Like, I remember going to a restaurant and even some bars there. Like, even I was safe. Like, walking at night, I felt good there. But you're right, I wouldn't live there just because it's not as nice as the New Asuncion. So, like, even that's not a bad area to walk around, my opinion.
Okay. Alex, got any input?
Or you mean me?
Yeah, Aaron.
Oh.
I mean, sorry, Aaron. My bad.
No, you're good. I only stayed in briefly near San Lorenzo, where Ryan's kind of situated at, which that's where I was going through, as well as like Capiatá. Where I stayed at was in Icuizati, which is like it's a little. I'm surprised nobody really hears about that neighborhood, but it's like maybe it's like a 15-minute walk from Paseo La Galeria. So it's kind of like it's sort of an area where all the amenities are. And I was able to get a place for about 600, 700 for almost the three weeks that I was out there. So, but pretty safe.
Oh, beans. All right.
Talking rent right now. For Colombia, as long as you're outside of Medellin, Cartagena, maybe even Bogota, you're going to get very similar value. All right. Especially in places like Bucaramanga, which is where I am now. I'd say that even Barranquilla is getting a little more expensive. I think Cali is getting a little more overpopulated with like tourists and foreigners. But $1,000 a month still gets you a great place in any one of these places. For speaking in general. Now, as far as overall cost of living, that's really going to depend on how often you eat out, how high end your lifestyle is. Like, are you going to the fanciest restaurants? I mean, how often are you going to those fancy restaurants? How active is your dating life? Are you dating like multiple women and like multiple girlfriends and you're eating out with them? Like, obviously, your cost is going to go up. Or are you only dating maybe 2 to 3 women? Maybe one of them is, kind of the girlfriend. Maybe you just have one girlfriend. Maybe you're monogamous. So it's going to depend on how complex and how high end your lifestyle is, and how complicating your dating life is as well. So as far as verdict, I'd give both these countries a tie. I think both countries are really solid for cost of living. You can obviously live less than $2,500 a month and live a really good life in either country. Really just depends on the cities that you choose. But at the end of the day, if I was forced to, I would give the slight edge to Paraguay. All right, now let's talk about residency visas and.
Okay. Now, here's my question. Is gentrification starting to become an issue in Paraguay as far as anybody complaining about all these foreigners coming in or anything like that?
I think depends where you're at. Like my particular building, it was basically all foreigners. It was like people from Europe, from US. There were like professional soccer players from Argentina. So if you're in like Las Lomas, or if you're in Villa Mora, like a nicer building, it's gonna feel like it's getting, you know what I mean, a lot of people. But if you're outside, that area, like I believe, sorry man, I forgot your name, in Luque or Fernando La Mora, like you're not going to see any foreigners out there, right? So it just depends where you're at. I say Paraguay is one of those places that it's difficult to get to. So you're never going to have a lot of those people that are going there just for, like you mentioned, pay to play earlier. That's not a thing in Paraguay, in my opinion. You're not going to see those types of guys there. So I think there's a lot less foreigners there than you would see in Colombia, but depends what part of the city you're at.
Okay, so we're not seeing a like gentrification where people, we're increasing the rent and all that stuff, the cost of living in that place because we're,
Well,
I mean, I've had some
yeah.
conversations with some guys, and prices have gone up. Like, my first time in Paris, I was in Paraguay for 8 months. I got there last year, but before that, it was even cheaper. So every year, it does get a little more expensive.
Okay.
From what I've seen.
All right.
Yeah.
Alex?
Oh yeah.
But me?
Aaron?
Yeah. Wait,
Mhm.
what was the question again? The audio was kind of cutting out on my end.
Okay,
Gentrification.
wait, I got a question for you guys. Is Paraguay for a relationship for those who are serious?
100%. Yeah, I love Paraguayan
Yeah.
women. Paraguayan women are great. They're great. They're great. If you want a serious relationship, yes.
Okay, Buck's
Yeah.
happy. Everybody got big smiles on their faces. I can see, even on the panel. Even me. Even me. So,
If I could jump in real quick.
sure.
So just to very lastly finish off the safety question. A lot of people ask me like, oh, is San Lorenzo safe? Is Luque safe? Is this place safe? Honestly, it really depends neighborhood to neighborhood, street to street. So that's the last thing I wanted to add on because these are gigantic like cities within a metropolitan area, right? So it's hard to say. But okay, so that I want to close off the safety part. But get into the gentrification part. It's interesting because I've been, I mean, so my family, I've been coming down here for almost 15 years now, right?
Mhm.
Uh, and locals have always known where the most expensive places are, and they've always been in the Via Morra Recoleta. But it's if anybody is gentrifying it, it's not Westerners. It's always been Brazilians and Argentinians. First off, right? Like English speaking Westerners, yeah, now it's starting to become more of a thing, but nobody's blaming it on Westerners. When I say Westerners, I mean English speaking, right?
Okay.
Um, and yeah, you're right. There are areas, and it is increasing a little by little, but it's not like they're just like ripping apart neighborhoods, blocks on blocks on blocks, and just like displacing people, and then like high rises are going up. It's not like that. It's more scattered. Like for example, I live in a brand new duplex, right? But it's in the middle of a working class neighborhood, right? So there's really like scattered projects. It's almost like Texas, like zoning laws. It's just
Hmm.
really random, honestly. So there's no like block on block. Besides the one exception is the new downtown, but all Paraguayans already know that that's expensive. So there's no like sentiment like there is in Colombia where it's just like going on at a crazy level where everybody's pointing the finger at gringos. It's not like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for your last thing that you were saying about dating, right? So I got a lady cooking a meal right here, right now, in the kitchen, right? And I've dated a few girls and a few who have been wonderful enough to cook for me, right? And they literally tell me, "Don't help me, hands off," uh, and I'll take care of everything. I'm like, "You sure you don't need no help like this or this?" No, 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 I got it. you know I know that's just one part of like but the reason I bring that up, right, like the cooking part is, number one, I don't ask them, they just offer, and number two, when they offer, I don't bother them. But it's just such a stark difference from the States, which I'm
Hmm.
sure that all of y'all can agree with. But um you know
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. The whole gentrification thing is because now we're seeing a lot of hostility towards tourists, especially like in Portugal and Spain, because a lot of visitation is going over there, and a lot of people are buying up property and stuff, and it's kind of pricing that out. I've also heard about that in Medellin. There's been some hostilities and stuff towards foreigners because of that they raised the prices of the cost of living in that city or that country up, and there's been some resentment towards that. Airbnb is going about to be shut down in uh, Portugal, or
Wow.
yeah, they're shutting it down. Yeah, in the next couple of years because there's no housing available for people, and they get priced out. So a lot of the programs that they had, like golden visa programs and things like that, is being shut down because they're trying to, limit who can come into the country and be citizens and getting residency cards and stuff like that, even though their stuff is pretty pricey. But when you look at something like, Paraguay and Mexico, it's really inexpensive. And plus, we also hearing that same resentment in Mexico City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I can say from experience too. Um, having gone to Mexico City 3 years back, and I've been to about 15 states throughout Mexico, and myself being now a dual citizen of Mexico, first generation. You can find a lot of second or third tier cities that they're still experiencing some gentrification, either not always from Westerners, like from foreigners, but sometimes from wealthy Mexicans. Um, but yeah, as a whole in Mexico, that's not really the case. Maybe Mexico City, maybe parts like Tulum or Los Cabos,
mhm.
Baja Sur. But you could still find pretty inexpensive areas throughout the country. So
Let's continue.
Taxes. This isn't something I see a lot of on YouTube. So let's dig a little deeper into this. And this is, by the way, where Paraguay starts to pull away from Colombia. All right. So Colombia, most people are short-term travelers. Okay, most people just live off their tourist visa essentially. And the cool thing about Latin America is that could be just fine. You could live 6 months out of the year in Colombia, for instance, right? You get 6 months per year as a tourist without leaving. It does have its limit there. Like after 6 months, then you do have to leave the country and come back later. But Colombia definitely gets an edge for the short-term travelers, because let's say you get there, August, right, of any year, August. You're there for 3 months. You can easily extend your stay for another 3 months without having to leave the country for a very small fee. All right. So if you're there for 3 months and then you stay for another 3 months, now it's the new year and the clock resets. So you can stay there for another 3 months, then extend for another 3 months. That's a total of 6 months and 6 months, right? So that's 12 months you're in the country from August to August. All right. And then you have to leave. So that's one of the loopholes in Colombia, is you could live there for a year just like that, without having to leave the country. But then eventually you would have to leave, okay? Unless you have a visa or residency. All right. Now, the process of getting a visa is not that difficult, but the process of getting a residency is a little more complex and a little more expensive.
I want to ask you that, Alex. How complex is the residency for Colombia?
I just think it's more expensive. You need money, right? You need to buy property, and I'm no expert in this stuff, but I just from my simple research that I've done, you just need a little more money to invest in the country and get residency that way.
You have to buy. It's basically buy property, and they'll give you a residency card like most other countries.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty much it. All right.
Because look, what we're talking about here is living. All right. So if you're in a country for more than 6 months out of the year, to me, that means you're living there, right? Maybe you have your own setup, you have your own apartment, right? It's off Airbnb. Maybe it's your own lease. You customize it the way you like. It's yours, right? So if you're in a place like Colombia, then if you're there for over 6 months out of the year, you are considered a tax resident, and that means double taxation in Colombia and the United States, assuming you're from the United States. Okay. So in Colombia, taxes, from what I hear, aren't very friendly. So you will be paying taxes. You will not be keeping a lot of your money. And the reason I bring up residencies, visas, and taxes in this section, like right after, because this has to do with cost of living as well, right? It has to do with financial. So obviously it's not just about what you spend or what you make, but it's what you keep. And this is where taxes come into play. So Colombia is not a very tax-friendly country. If you're living there, you will be paying double taxes, all right?
Actually, those tax percentages for foreigners is up to like 39% for Colombia. So if you're looking at, you're paying anywhere from 30 to 35 for US, and then you add in a 39 up for Colombia. Yeah, you can be losing a lot on your taxes. Just paying just taxes. It's bad. And that's very, very important. Whereas when you look at Mexico, if you're a resident, as long as your stuff ain't going through a Mexican bank, there's a territorial tax where you don't pay tax on foreign income, which is good.
In Mexico?
Yeah.
Mexico's a territorial tax country?
Yeah, from my understanding. The last I checked, it was territorial tax.
Okay.
I
thought it wasn't.
So long as you don't put it through a Mexican bank.
Yeah, I can confirm I don't have a Mexican bank account. I mean, I have my papers, but I don't pay taxes as of now since I'm not living in Mexico. I'm still in the States. But yeah, I think that's more like once you're tied into the tax system of Mexico.
Yeah, so that's what people need to look at before they start looking at going to these countries. So that's a very good point that you pointed out on this video.
And Paraguay is that too, where it's territorial tax, so it's 0%.
Territorial, yeah.
Even if you're not from the States, you will be paying taxes in Colombia. Whereas Paraguay is what's called a tax territorial system. Okay, so if you earn money outside of the country, which you probably will be if you're from the West. And when I say West, by the way, for those of you who don't know what I mean, US, Canada, UK, Western Europe, Australia, New Zealand. Okay, if you're from any of those countries, or even general European countries, because I meet a lot of people from, I'll keep it with you, Western Europe. You pay zero tax of any money that you earn outside of Paraguay. Okay, so like I said, remote workers, online entrepreneurs, whatever it may be, sales guys, remote sales guys, you're paying 0% tax, which is phenomenal. Whereas Colombia, you are not. You are paying taxes. Now, if you make money inside the country, like let's say you have a local business, maybe you have an Airbnb business, you own real estate there, it's a flat 10% tax, no matter what, no matter how much you earn, which is also great. Okay. From the States, you're paying over 50% at least, or even if you're a lower income guy, 30%, 25% minimum. So the other cool thing about Paraguay, now that's just with taxes, all right? So taxes wins in Paraguay, of course. You're keeping a lot more of your money in Paraguay than Colombia, which improves your quality of life. And then as far as visas and residencies, I went over the visa situation with Colombia. The visa situation in Paraguay is not as favorable with just the tourist visa, okay? So what I mean by that is if you're in the country for 3 months, that's your maximum, then you have to leave the country. There's no clock resetting. There's no extension inside the country. You have to leave the country, could be for a day or two, and then come back. Now there's
Speaking on that, there was a YouTuber, Passport Dog, that they were looking for. They've been posting his stuff all over social media. Where is he? Because no one heard from him. Reason why they haven't heard from him, because he got kicked out the country. He overstayed his visa in Colombia, and he's back in the States. He's safe, but he overstayed his visa. And why people overstaying their visas and how they overstaying their visas, I have no idea. But he overstays his visa, and I believe he's banned from entering Colombia for 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, are they starting to crack down on the whole visa situation because of this whole passport bro movement? Alex?
I know people who've overstayed their visa in Paraguay, and it's just a small fine. They still overstayed, but like it was more than 30 days. They showed up at the airport. Hey, you overstayed your visa. And then they go to an ATM, they get cash, they pay like 50, 60 bucks, less than 100 bucks, whatever it is, and they get on a flight. So it's literally a small fine, but you never want to overstay your visa.
Take away.
Yeah, but do you think it's more because of this whole passport bro thing that's going on? Because you get a lot of them going down there to pay for play stuff, or they just kind of just tightening things up over there?
Who knows? I don't know, but yeah, could be. Would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, let's continue.
There's ways around that I won't get into, but so it's that basically it's not as favorable when it comes to Colombia based off the tourist visa. But I don't care about visas because I'm at the stage now where I am living in Latin America, So when you're someone who's more serious, then residency is what you're looking for. Residencies, whether it's temporary or permanent, or even citizenship, which obviously is a little more difficult, takes time, a little more money, that sort of thing. But when it comes to residencies, Paraguay is by far the easier and more affordable residency to get over Colombia. So this is what I care about. And as someone who wants to base in Latin America, not bounce around forever, this is huge. And this is why Paraguay wins this battle, which is a very important battle to win, hands down. All right, now let's talk safety.
I will kind of put Mexico in that same category with Paraguay. But I still give the edge a little bit to Paraguay because of the process, because just before you guys came in, and Aaron, you know about the process as well. First, you start off, depending on which process you're going through, in my case, economic. You got the 1 year temp, then the 3 year temp, then you have your permanent, and then you can apply for your citizenship for Mexico. For me, I have to learn about the history. Got to know it speaks Spanish. And now I get my citizenship, or, there's other ways I can get citizenship. So I think the process is a little bit similar, but I think time-wise, Paraguay is probably going to be faster, per se. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I edge it to Paraguay with Mexico, but Mexico would be definitely very, very close and a lot more easier. But with the geopolitics that's happening right now, if y'all ain't focusing on getting a residency, y'all screwing yourselves. Okay, you got gentlemen on these panels that's getting their residencies in different countries. If y'all sitting over here and y'all not paying attention what's going on here, y'all screwing yourselves. That's all I'm saying.
If I
Alex, Ryan, you have residency there, or do you have citizenship?
yeah, so a few a few things I'll say. So I do have permanent residency, and that is because I had blood ties to the country. I was born here. I have familial ties, my parents as well, right? So it was easier for me. I was able to jump to permanent residency, but for most people who do not have familial ties here, like Aaron, for example, you will have to do that temporary process, which gives you 2 years to be able to come back to apply for your permanent, right? But I do want to just say that even getting your temporary uh is pretty much the same as your permanent. You just have to come back and get your permanent, right? I mean, if I understand that correctly, because you can do all the same things with your temporary as you can with your permanent. You just have to make sure that you come back and secure permanent residency. So like bank account, renting apartments, that kind of thing, right? Uh, so I mean, I think there's a misunderstanding that like there's like less privileges when you get your temporary, but there's actually not. At least my understanding. If you guys know differently, but as far as I know, you can do pretty much anything a permanent resident can. You just have to make sure that you actually get your permanent residency later.
Now, with the permanent residency, you have to you have to stay in the country, or you can go back to your country, your country of origin, like say the U.S.
Aaron.
Yeah, that's basically my circumstance right now. So I'm I got my temporary residency this year in March, and so um, the lawyer that I worked with, which is Ryan's lawyer as well, um, basically from my understanding is it's recommended, I guess, to come back as soon as possible. But I mean, I plan to come back within the next year, at least at least once or twice before my 2 years are up for my to transition to permanent residency. Because from then I have to still get like my cedula. I want to open a bank account. Maybe eventually I'll find like a real estate opportunity, which is something that I plan to. So there's that's kind of the beauty. Same thing with Mexico is you don't necessarily have that time frame or urgency to like be living in the country. Similar to Mexico, you can just come back when that time is up, or else um, I don't know. It may get complicated to try to get permanent, but I mean that's kind of that's the gist of having temporary residency is that it buys you time to when you're planning to come back to then get permanent residency. So
Cool. All right.
Safety and stability becomes very important when you're someone who wants to live there. If you're just visiting, you don't really care about safety. If you're just bouncing around, if you're a man, right, you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, you're good, right, when it comes to safety. The problem comes in when you're looking to live there long term, maybe build a life there, maybe build investments there, maybe build a family there. Now you have children, a wife, that sort of thing. That's where safety and stability becomes higher on the values hierarchy list, at least for me. So I've personally never felt unsafe in Paraguay. And out of the people that I know, no one has been robbed, no one has been drugged, no one has been scammed, no one has been there's been like aggressive begging, for money in Paraguay. All right. Now in Colombia, I have had friends who have been robbed, who have been drugged, or even worse. I've heard. Well, I can't say I have friends that when it comes to the worst, but I've seen murder scenes, right? I've heard horror stories from friends of friends, like people dying out there. Usually in Medellin and Cartagena specifically. Sometimes maybe even Bogota. Now, I still love Colombia. Okay, Colombia is definitely one of my favorite countries. I'm in Colombia right now. I'm in Bucaramanga. I'm here like every year. Okay, But if we're talking about raising a family one day, if we're talking about long-term peace of mind, where I want to spend the majority of my year each and every year, majority of my time each and every year, in that case, I want more stability and I want more safety, which is going to be Paraguay. Okay. Now let's even like take this a step further. Like, what if World War III would have happened, right? Which who knows? Who knows what could happen? Russia, US. This isn't a political channel. I don't really care for politics too much. But if that were to ever happen, a place where you'd want to be is somewhere like Paraguay. Paraguay is probably the last place on earth that's going to get it pulled into any world wars or have any enemies surrounding them trying to invade their country. That's not going to happen here. Okay. Anything can happen, but very, very, very slow probability that Paraguay that would happen here. So if there was another world war that would happen anytime in the future, this is exactly the country that I'd want to be in, okay, for safety reasons. Now, so yeah, final verdict, Paraguay definitely wins. Paraguay is safer, it's more peaceful, it's more stable. I think it's better to raise a family. Now, if you're in certain cities like Colombia, obviously you can make an argument, but we're talking about the entire country here as a whole. So as a whole, I give this one to Paraguay. Okay.
That one I definitely agree with. And plus, you're also self-sufficient. Electricity, I did some research on Paraguay. The electricity, you have the hydro dam. Food, I'm dying to go try out your tomahawk steaks. I am definitely going to make a trip and try that out because I heard they're very inexpensive and they're very delicious. Your food supply
Yep.
is not even a problem. So definitely that is an ideal place. It is landlocked. I don't know how much expensive, getting stuff into the country is going to be, but definitely when it comes to the whole World War III concept and safety and stuff like that, you do have a great argument on that. Definitely agree with that.
Now let's get into dating and feminine energy. So this is obviously a big one for us men, especially over 30. Dating quality women who support our vision, our mission, our goals. This is a massive part to building a great life and having a high quality of life, right? And in both countries, you're going to find beautiful women, right? Definitely no doubt about that. Now let's talk about Colombian women. I think Colombian women are slightly more physically attractive if we're just talking physical now. And they're also a little more social, all right? Like they enjoy going more to nightlife. They enjoy more dancing. It's definitely more of a dance culture, right? Definitely a lot more of a reggaeton culture as well. I would think salsa culture as well, right? So if you're into that, if you're into nightlife and dancing and high energy, Colombia has that edge, okay? Now, Paraguayan women are also very physically attractive, okay? I'd say Paraguayan women differ a little more when it comes to being relaxed and more chill, all right? And in my experience, they can also be more nurturing because they are more homebodies.
Now, I have a question.
Yep.
Age gap dating, is that a thing in Paraguay?
I've seen it. Now, when you say age gap, what kind of age gap are we talking?
Let's say up to about 15, 20 years difference. And I'm not talking going low, like in the 18, 19-year-old. I'm talking just maybe I'm 50 and she's 30.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm 37. The main girl that I date, I'm very honest with my relationships with my women, but in Paraguay I do have one. She recently turned 21. She's a super mature 21-year-old. But I always ask these questions, especially with the younger women, like, what's the oldest guy you would date? She would go early 40s. Like if a guy stays in shape, right? If he looks like he's a really good looking young 40-year-old, right? Let's say they say he's 40, maybe looks like he's 37. Like younger women will go for that type of a guy. So 20, 25 years is definitely a
thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, dating as far as race, do you see the women in Paraguay dating like African Americans?
Yes. I don't know if you want me to go on that first, but
go for it.
Yeah, no, well, okay, so I actually get this question quite a bit, right? And I'll just tell you, just because I have family here, I have women in my family here, and they've been telling me since the first time I came here 13 years ago that some of the men that they're most attracted to are African American men, of who they've seen on Hollywood, etc. You know, you got to understand American, you know, culture, our TV shows, our movies. You know, the world sees it. But yeah, absolutely. And the thing is what I see more is your your nationality first and your race second. Yes, obviously, you'll look different and you'll get a lot of looks in the street, but it's not looks out of like disdain or hate or whatever. What I've heard, right, of African American guys, right, who have been down here, and I just hung out with two guys who said the same thing, right. In fact, a lot of girls will actually want to take pictures with you and want to meet you and maybe even go on dates with you, right? These guys were only here for 2 weeks, but I guarantee you, if they were here for 2 months or even longer than that, they would have been just fine. And in fact, I got a homegirl who I hang out with over here at the food park. I always go hang out at these food parks. I don't know if you guys know what those are, but they're popping up everywhere in Paraguay. They're outdoor places. There's a bunch of whatever restaurants, some bars or whatever. And she was saying, "Yeah, you should have told me." Damn, like, you know, he was single. I was like, "Dang, I didn't know." Okay, no, now next time I know. So, anyways, yeah, no, for sure. Girls are certainly attracted to and will date. The thing is more importantly, are you gonna be here for a long time?
Yeah.
Because girls in general in Paraguay, they know if you're fucking with them. They know if you're here for a week. They know if you just want to have fun. But if you're here for a long time, you know, you're gonna be fine. And even on top of that, do you believe in God as well? Is kind of a big thing down here. Actually, it's a really big thing down here.
Oh, that's cool.
Um a really big thing. I mean, we're one of the most Catholic countries on earth per capita. I think we're number like fucking four, besides like Vatican City and like two other tiny countries. So you know, like 90% or 90 above 90% of us are Catholic. Um, you know, so yeah. So again, if you're Christian, if you're here for the long run, if you have swag, and you know, you're gonna do absolutely fine, guaranteed.
So basically, Paraguay is not really a pay for play culture type of country. If you're talking Christianity,
No, it does exist. I don't like it when guys talk to me. In fact, I fucking tell them to fuck off if they want to ask me about that shit. Um,
Yeah.
you
yeah.
know, because I have family here, man. I'm here for the long run, and plus, you know, I have blood here and all that stuff, you know. So yeah, the whole paper play thing, yes, of course it exists. It exists in every country. It's just in the U.S., you know. But no, it's not a thing that anybody promotes. Even local Paraguayans won't promote it to you. If you get to like know locals, they'll tell you about it if you ask about it, right? But like most people, nah, man. And like there's no like district or anything like that. Like there are in other places, like in Brazil, Colombia,
Mhm.
etc.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you know, so you and in fact, you know, be very careful if you ask people about that shit. Yeah, I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about like anybody listening, right? Because you could actually piss people off. You know, I mean, it pisses me off. You know, I'm from two cultures, but even locals, right? They're like, "Oh, damn, that's what you're here for," you know. So you know, just be careful.
Yeah, this is nothing like Medellin or Cartagena, which is why I like it. You know what I mean? That's part of what I say in this video, I think, the whole foreigner effect and how, you know, it avoids that type of a tourist. So no, you don't really see that. But like Ryan said, yeah, I mean, it does exist. There are like some probably like sugar daddy relationships, that type of a thing, right?
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
it's nowhere near like what you see in parts of Colombia, my opinion.
Yeah. My mod Pooh Man, he has a question. He said, "Is it more Spanish or Guarani due to the location, population speaking?"
Yeah, Guarani. I mean, I'll go
Guarani.
first. No, it's mostly Spanish. Guarani is like their native language, but you see more of that in like Capiata, I think, like outside of Asuncion, even outside of Luque, Fernando La Mora. You. I mean, some of the girls do know, some of the people do know Guarani, but even the younger ones, a lot of them don't even speak it either. So I think it's becoming less and less of a thing. From my experience.
So Spanish, you're good to go.
Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
Okay. Let's continue.
All right. They're not trying to go out every weekend. It's not a huge dance culture. A lot of these women don't really dance that much, to be honest. You don't really hear reggaeton blasting everywhere, even salsa blasting everywhere. A Paraguayan woman is going to be there. She's like, because she's more of a homebody. And again, I'm speaking in generalities here. You'll find either type of women in either country. We're talking about general country culture here. So generally speaking, a Paraguayan woman is going to stay in. She's going to cook. She's going to clean. She's going to rub your shoulders. She's going to cut your toenails. She's going to treat you like a king once she likes you. Now, of course, a Colombian woman is going to do the same thing, but she's going to be more higher energy. She's going to want to go out more. It's going to be more of a dance culture. It's going to be more nightlife, right? For majority of speaking. Now, since Paraguayan women are more chilled and relaxed homebodies, I prefer that when it comes to having a significant other and building a family over the former, right? When I was talking about traits of the Colombian women. So final verdict when it comes to women, I mean, honestly, like I said, as far as dating life they're both really good dating places to date as a single guy and potentially find your significant other and build a family with. But I'd have to give the slight edge to the Paraguayan women, especially for long-term relationships, because of the chill, relaxed homebody personality. And again, both countries are great to date in, but if I had to give a slight edge, I'd give it to Paraguay. All right, now lifestyle, weather, and culture. So going by weather, which is a big factor when it comes to having a higher quality of life, right? Weather plays a big role into your mood and your happiness and your contentment each day. You'll find that when you're in nicer weather, people are going to be warmer, friendlier, more open. When you're in colder weather, people are going to be colder, less friendly, less open, right? That's just what I've experienced living in both climates. So Colombia definitely wins here when it comes to weather. All right, weather in places like Antioquia, which is the department of Medellin, right? Even Santander, which is where Bucaramanga is, and Pereira, like these types of cities that are more inland inside the country, not coastal, they're perfect weather. Like it's 70s all year round, very little humidity, spring-like weather all year round. Now, if you prefer more warm weather, you're going to be in a place like Cali, which is Valle de Cauca. Also, slightly inland, you are closer to the coast, maybe 4-hour drive from the coast, but you have like summer-like weather all year round where it's 80 degrees, and it doesn't change. It's consistent all year round, okay? You can also get colder weather in Bogota, right? So Colombia really has it all. You just take your pick of what you like, and you'll get it in Colombia. Paraguay, on the contrary, has its seasons, okay? And it can get a little extreme during the summertime. A lot of people complain about summer in Asunción. It gets over 100 degrees, even though for me, I don't complain about it. I can tolerate it. But it does get a little cooler during the winter as well. June, July, August, which is the winter in Paraguay, does get a little cooler, maybe like low 50s, maybe even 40s. So it's a little bit more extreme, but it's not extreme. You know, I'm from Boston. Boston, we get like below zero sometimes, okay? So I still like Paraguayan weather. Doesn't bother me. I simply use the AC when it's summertime, and I use the heating when it's wintertime, right? Just like normal people do in the Northeast. But if I had to take a pick, of course, I would prefer Colombian weather. Spring-like weather all year round is the best. Now, culture-wise, I think I covered this.
Now, how hot does it get really? I mean, does it get a lot of humidity in Paraguay in the summer?
It's pretty hot. It gets pretty hot. I remember being by the pool and like your feet get burned. But that's not every day during the summertime. Honestly, I thought this last summer wasn't that bad at all. I mean, it wasn't. I heard from like 2-3 years ago, it was a lot worse, but maybe Ryan seems like he's lived there for a while, so he'll probably know better than I do.
Yeah, I mean, it's depends where you are, but yeah, I mean, most people will say it's very hot. Locals will say it's very hot. It is very humid, but it's not as humid as a straight up jungle. We're a subtropical country. Like our guy Simon always went to Costa Rica, which is like straight jungle. So he was like, "Oh yeah, it was much more humid in Costa Rica." But your average Westerner would still consider this very humid and hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
This a little bit in the other section. Colombia is a little more vibrant, dance heavy, nightlife focused. Paraguay is more chill, peaceful, slower pace, relaxed. So take your pick on the type of personality that you have, the type of person that you are, where you are in your life right now, right? And if you're someone who wants nightlife in your 20s or whatever age you are, you know, then Colombia. If you're more chill, relaxed, typically if you're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, you're probably going to prefer Paraguay. Now, again, you can pick certain cities in Colombia that are more chill and relaxed. Of course, you can go to where I am now in Bucaramanga. You can go to Pasto. There's other cities I can bring up, but generally speaking about the country, Paraguay is going to be more chill and relaxed. So both countries are family oriented, right? They are very friendly to foreigners. They're warm countries, both of them overall. I just prefer the chill Sunday asado lifestyle over the salsa club dance or party scene, right? So as I mentioned, you get chill Colombian cities too, but we're talking overall country here. So final verdict here, Colombia wins with weather, Paraguay wins with chill lifestyle. Now this
Could y'all give me a description of what the nightlife is like in Paraguay?
I'm not a huge nightlife guy, but Carmelita, I think there's plenty to do. Like people say, Paraguay is a boring country. Asunción is a boring city. There's enough. There's plenty to do. So if you want nightlife, you go to Carmelitas. You go to El Centro. There's places there. And even Las Lomas, a lot of like nice rooftop spots. So for me, it's enough.
Oh, so there are clubs and stuff to go to and stuff if you want to go out or anything like that.
Yeah. Delario is a
Yeah.
popular club. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd absolutely agree. There's certainly clubs, and they're big clubs too. I live here in San Lorenzo, right, which is about 25 minutes down in the metro area. And me and Aaron, we went to Bar California, which is literally right next to a food park, which is actually pretty cool because once you get done with the food park, if you still want to continue, you're gonna go to this nightclub, right? And there's dancing. Sometimes they got karaoke and then dancing or a mix of both. But it's a little bit more scattered. Uh, Besides the Carmelitas area, which Carmelitas is an area, right? It's not like a full neighborhood, but it's an area where I want to say there's maybe 10, 15 bars, maybe 20 or so. That's the main place where people want to go out, but there's certainly areas in Luque, San Lorenzo, hell, even in Lambaré or Villa Elisa. So there are certainly other spots, and locals will certainly go out. Hell, I even just I live even close to one, 5 blocks away, and I didn't even know about it until somebody even just told me, like, hey, it's a little more not where most Westerners would want to go, but it's certainly a hangout spot on the weekends. So yeah, there's certainly nightlife. A lot of people will just immediately, well, where's the cracking spot? That would be Carmelitas. But if they get bored of that, they just think that's all of Paraguay. And that's not all of Paraguay. So yeah.
Interesting.
This next category is one that maybe you didn't expect, but the amount of foreigners, tourism, and basically the community, right? Authentic community is what I mean by that. So why would I prefer a place that is less foreigners, less tourists, and better sense of overall local community? Because when you're in a place that's very touristy, what that tends to do to the locals, it attracts more poverty. I think I see more people asking people for money, right? So you're going to be asked for money more often. People from the barrios are probably going to be coming into the city more often. Maybe you'll see homeless people on the streets, you know, hopefully looking for money from the foreigners, from the short-term foreigners, right? There's also less sense of a community aspect of it, and usually, obviously, prices are more expensive. So I prefer to live in a place with less foreigners, less tourism, and better sense of overall local community, right? More authentic community. So this one flies under the radar, but it really matters if you want to stand out and build a real authentic life abroad. All right. So Colombia, I think, is getting flooded with tourists and short-term expats, especially in cities like Medellin, Cartagena, Bogota, and even Cali. Can even maybe put in Barranquilla in the mix there. So with so many foreigners, the dynamic does change a bit. Locals start to see you as just another gringo, right? You lose your edge. You're just boxed into the same category of foreigner. Oh, they're a gringo, right? And sometimes a lot of times they'll see you as a walking dollar sign, right? You'll just be constantly asked for money every day, which can get annoying. This also brings in higher costs, less genuine interactions, and it makes it harder to feel unique or build a long-term social circle as well. Because a lot of the times when you're in a place like this, like what I mentioned earlier, they're going to be short-term people. They're going to come and go, right? So it's hard to build a real authentic connection with long-term people, assuming you want to live there, all right? Now, Paraguay, on the other hand, has fewer foreigners, even though that is increasing too. I think my building, that's probably because of the location in the building I was in. There was a lot of people from France, from Canada, from US, right? Myself included, of course, being from the US. Probably just had to do with the building I was in, which also had, ironically, people from like professional athletes from like Argentina. So I was kind of in a little bubble, which is why I might think that it does have more foreigners than it actually does. But most expats who do live there are long-term, right? Not just passing through for a month or two. I've met expats that have been there for like 3, 5, even longer years, right? In Paraguay. Locals are more curious, they're welcoming, they're actually want to get to know you. I think it's easier to build a reputation and stand out. And you'll find deeper community if you stay in a place like Paraguay longer term than most cities in Colombia. So verdict here, I think Paraguay wins when it comes to, again, when it comes to having an authentic community, less tourism, less foreigners, and you'll stand out more in Paraguay. So, which helps with the increase of quality of life. Okay, so Paraguay wins here. All right.
I think that's very important that you bring out the community aspect, because the fact that we want to be part of a community, if that's going to be our new home, being in a place like that is very, very important. And not so much as like the less tourism and stuff like that, but it does, bridge people a lot more closer. And I think that's what a lot of people want to do, the people who are really serious about that. So that's why I pretty much like that concept that you brought that in, the community aspect. And that's what, a lot of us were looking at, finding that place where we can blend in with the community and stuff.
Right.
I definitely like that piece.
So as far as language and people, obviously both countries speak Spanish and both are very warm and friendly to foreigners. There are slight subtle differences, and it comes back to what I mentioned before, as far as really just the culture, right? And people. Colombia tend to be overall more energetic, more outgoing, more social, more dance loving. You'll find a lot of invitations for parties, salsa nights, even weekend trips. Paraguay is more chilled, reserved, relaxed. Sundays are for asados, which are barbecues. Longer conversations and family, less loud music, nightclubs, less nightclubs, more house gatherings, more restaurants, going to the restaurants or churrascerias type places. People are generally curious and about foreigners, and friendships feel less transactional overall. All right. So I'd say when it comes to language and people, because they're both very friendly, because they're both very welcoming, it's really a tie. It just depends whether you prefer high energy or more chill energy. For deeper or more loyal connection. But overall, for my personality at this stage of my life, in my 30s, I give the slight edge to Paraguay. Let's talk food and restaurants. All right. Obviously, food is something that you're going to be eating every day. So hopefully you enjoy what you're eating every day. And hopefully it's healthy and organic and, good for you. So honestly, food is pretty decent in both. Here's the truth, though. Paraguay, I ate like a king for cheap every single day. Okay. I'm talking high quality steaks and meats.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Go to that restaurant.
I'm talking about.
Go to La Caveta, get the tomahawk. Yeah. When you said that, I was like, prepare them yourselves, whether you want to have them prepared for you. It's very easy to eat very well in Paraguay. Okay. I'm planning on, could be next time I'm there, maybe getting, could be a chef. Like imagine having someone cook gourmet restaurant quality steaks for you every single day, right? Versus you could go to like a Super Says, or you could go to just get it ordered in from different restaurants. But I think having a chef make it could be better. Who knows? I'll play around with that idea. I'll see what the costs are with that. But you eat very well with Paraguay, especially if you love to eat steaks and meat. They have the best quality there. The traditional food is mostly corn-based, and it gets repetitive. So I wasn't a huge fan of like to traditional food. Like the sopa paraguaya was okay. Bori bori is very, if you don't like corn much, you're probably not going to like the traditional food in Paraguay. A lot of it is corn-based. Now, Colombia, the typical food, you'll hear the word like it's bland, right? That sort of thing. And yeah, I mean, it's not, it is factual. It's not, it's a lot of rice, beans, chicken, not much flavor. But in the bigger cities, you will find international restaurants. You'll find, obviously, they have great coffee, bakeries, Chinese spots. I'd say that in Colombia, because you have Bogota, which is an international city, and even Medellin, which is pretty much an international city as well. These places give you a lot more variety when it comes to international cuisine. So I think the food, like when it comes to restaurants, you'll probably get the slight edge with Colombia. But I think Paraguay, man, like Paraguay just keeps like surprising me because of the quality and the price of the meat. And you still have enough restaurants. You have plenty. I mean, I wish there was more of an international scene in Paraguay. I think there was only like 1 or 2 Thai places, and I love Thai food. So, there can be improvements, and it's going to keep growing. Paraguay is just on the rise in general. But I have to say, I'll just give my verdict: Paraguay for the quality and price of the meat, and Colombia for the variety. All right, optionality and fun things to do. So this one kind of excites me. All right, so Colombia. Let's talk Colombia as a country. So Colombia is like a playground for adventure, man. Like they got beaches, they got mountains, they got resorts, they got jungles, they got major cities, they got small pueblo escapes, all within like a day's reach, right? All within short direct flights, wherever the heck you want to go. So if you crave variety, adventure, big city energy, Colombia definitely delivers on that, right? We're talking like individual country specific, okay? Colombia has it all. Cold weather, hot weather, spring like, summer like, whatever you need, it's in Colombia. Paraguay, on the other hand, is landlocked. And while Asunción is a cool base, which I'll get into, the country itself doesn't have the same variety inside of Colombia, right? But here's what's great. I mean, if you're living in Asunción, Paraguay,
I got to ask a question to you guys. Are things a little bit more expensive because it's landlocked and it has to be, there's extra shipping because it's landlocked?
I haven't. Like what items or what do you think would be more
Like,
expensive?
if because when you look at, if you're in a coastal port, everything's going to be just brought in via via ship. But with you guys, it's got to be shipped, then trucked a long way to get to Paraguay.
Yeah, maybe Ryan would know better than I didn't feel like things were more expensive in Asunción for that reason.
He's having mic issues. I'll ask that question again.
You're in South America, man. Like South America, you have it all, right? You are just one direct flight away from big city energy like Buenos Aires, like Lima, Peru, where you get best of the best cuisines. Peru has awesome food. Maybe I'll throw in some B-roll with some of the food in Peru, but you're within a short flight to places like Bogota, Lima, Peru, Buenos Aires, Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, right? Big city energy with international cuisine. You're also very close to beautiful, gorgeous beaches, right? You can go to the beaches in North Brazil. You can go to Natal. You can go to Fortaleza. If it's summertime, you can go to Floria. I'm sorry, Floria Blanca. I'm in Bucaramanga. Floria Blanca is a city outside of here. You can go to Florianopolis, right? So you get beaches not far from Asunción. We'll just say anything under 4 or 5 hours, you have access to all this stuff. You have mountains. You can go to Chile, right? You can go to Argentina. Right, on the topic of Chile and Argentina, go to Patagonia, right? Which I haven't been to yet. You get all the variety you need when we're talking about South America in general, just a short and a lot of times direct flight away outside of Paraguay, okay? So it's very similar to Colombia, which has a lot of variety inside the country and a lot of optionality and fun things to do. Basically have it all inside the country. But Paraguay has the same thing just within South America, okay? So keep in mind, Colombia is a big country, right? I think it's the 3rd largest in South America, something like that. Whereas Paraguay isn't that big. But again, when you factor in entire South America, which you'll have access to. So as far as verdict goes, I got to give the edge to Colombia because we're talking country specific right now. Colombia wins for in-country variety and adventure and fun things to do and optionality. But Paraguay is just as good. It's just as good because it's easy to escape abroad to all the places I just mentioned. So it's really kind of a tie. Just take your pick. If you never want to leave outside of, like I said, if you just want to stay in one country for the rest of your life and you can't leave that country, which is a stupid analogy, because why would you do that? Why would you not travel if you can? But yeah, so you know what I mean. So I give them both the really good thumbs up tie. So final verdict, which country did I choose and which country should you choose? Well, for me, after living in 12 different cities across Latin America, and that's going to keep increasing as I continue to check out more places, and spending extended time in both Colombia and Paraguay, overall 8 months in Paraguay, well over a year in Colombia, these are hands down the top two countries that I would call home at this point. And both have their strengths, right? Colombia has incredible weather, vibrant cities, beautiful women, great optionality. Paraguay has safety, peace, ease of residency, tax freedom, low stress lifestyle, great food, great steaks. But at the end of the day, I chose Paraguay. And here's why, okay? So Paraguay has the easiest, most affordable residency process that I found in Latin America. And this is big. If you're not a multimillionaire, if you don't have six figures, if you don't have over 100,000, you could just invest right now into property or into a residency or into citizenship somewhere, right? At least 100,000 to throw into that. Then ease and affordability of residency process is going to be one of your big challenges to get. All right. It's going to be one of the things that you're going to want if you're serious about this. So Paraguay wins that hands down. It's a big reason. Now, taxes on foreign income, right? As long as you don't earn locally. So if you're a guy in remote sales like me, or maybe you have a business and you want to keep growing your income, you're someone who's growth mindset, you're always going to find ways to increase your income, right? So zero taxes is huge. Okay. We're talking about saving six figures at least if you're getting to a point where you want to get to, right? If you're a business owner in sales, you should be saving at least 50, 100K in taxes even, right? So this is big when it comes to quality of life and cost. It factors into the financial aspect, right? You can obviously spend little, which is a great aspect to both of these countries. You can also earn more, which hopefully, you know, you're someone who, whether in business or whatever your situation is, we all want to earn more money, right? At the end of the day. As long as it doesn't take away our personal freedom, right? And we're still doing the things that we want to do. We're living the lifestyle that we want. Obviously, when you factor all that in, you want to earn as much as you can, providing a good service, right? And the third aspect is how much you keep. How much are you actually keeping due to your taxes, right? So this is a big one for me too. And I'm still a young guy. You know, I'm 37 years old. And my income is only going to keep increasing from here. I have no plans on stopping anytime soon. So taxes for me, saving on that is a huge factor in why Paraguay beats Colombia all day with that. As far as true safety and peace of mind, this is also very important to me now because I'm more serious. I'm more long-term. I want to build something, right? Have a family someday. True safety and peace of mind is huge. Don't want to be a place where I have to worry about getting scammed, you know, drama, which probably comes with certain personalities and women, no chaos. All this resonates me with Paraguay as far as safety and peace of mind, more so than Colombia, even though Colombia is great too. Okay. I don't want to make it seem like Colombia isn't a place where you can't be safe and you can't have peace of mind. I'm just saying if we're comparing apples with apples, Paraguay in this category too. As far as a calm, grounded culture that matches my vision for long-term living, right? Paraguay is a place that's on the rise. I'd say Colombia is on the rise too, but if I'm going to invest somewhere, right, if I'm going to build somewhere, I'd rather choose Paraguay than Colombia overall right now. And a place where I can build roots and eventually raise a family, again, Paraguay. So for me, Paraguay gives me everything that I need to build a high quality of life and not just pass through. Colombia is always going to be a country that I spend time in. I'm here right now. I'll be here for probably 3.5, 4 months, okay? And I will continue to visit regularly for about that, about 3 to 4 months out of the year as a second city. But Paraguay is always going to be my home base for about 7, 8 months out of the year in the long run.
Okay. Let me throw that link up. Buck, you can get ready to come up because I'm going to throw that link up. Like I said, this was a great video. Really breaking things down to the granular about the different countries and stuff. And that's why I wanted to play an excellent video. The thing I want to throw out, I want to throw Mexico in the mix. I think easy as far as getting the Mexican, some of the points you threw out at the end. It's also fairly easy to get the Mexican citizenship and residency. It's pretty much the same. Also, you beat Mexico with safety, so we can forget about it. Taxes pretty much the same, but still, Edge will definitely go to Paraguay.
So let me ask a quick question on Mexico. Are you sure that if you live in Mexico more than 6 months, you don't pay double taxes there?
There's no there's territorial taxes in Mexico if you make income outside of the US, if you're a resident. Yeah, because I just looked that up. Now the only thing about that, if it goes into if you have a Mexican bank account and you have it go through there, then you pay. Oh, hit the like button, you meant. Oh, but I put the link up there, Buck, if you want to come up. But if you have a Mexican bank account and you have money coming through there, you're gonna get taxed.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I believe from my understanding that's kind of how it works in Mexico. If you have any financial ties, like
Yeah,
base.
but I would double check with a financial person.
Yeah, because I did my research when it comes to territory. I know Paraguay, I know Uruguay, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Panama, Belize, Costa Rica, but I'm pretty sure Mexico, I might have missed that one if it is a territorial tax country, but you know better than I do. You have residency there, right?
Yeah, I checked that out. Yeah, there's territorial tax. But like I said, I think you put a well presented argument. It got me even thinking about seriously heading over there to let me throw him up here. Ulysses, where were you? You the one that
I was doing something with the family, but salute to everybody.
All right, Ulysses. He's our Mexico guy. Working on his Mexico citizenship.
Nice.
Can you fill us in with more about Mexico, my man?
Depends what zone you want to go to. Like me, I'm more familiar with Guadalajara, and I'm familiar with the Quintana Roo area, which is like Cancun, Tulum, and Playa del Carmen. But Mexico is big. You got a lot of different cities, so I wish I could give you more information on other cities, but I just know JDL and Quintana Roo. That's what I'm familiar with.
We'll stick with Guadalajara because Guadalajara, as you well know, I think a lot of it. Well, me particular, I definitely have an interest in Guadalajara. And I think Alex in one of his videos he spoke about Guadalajara a little bit. Can you fill us in about the dating scene a little bit more?
Man, I can't even describe the dating scene because I haven't dated here in years. But I'll tell you what, like the women over here, they ain't easy. Like this is where I'm at, specifically Zapopan area. This is like the considered like the Orange County of this side of the country, and so you have a lot of rich women. So you have to be like, let's just say it's not gonna be a passport bro friendly destination. Like you got to be tiptoe. Like you got to know your Spanish. You have to have like money. The women over here come from like well-off families, so they're not going to be impressed that you have a U.S. passport. I know a few guys that come over here and like they've stricken out, they just like leave over here angry as hell. But you can't. Yeah, bro. I who's that guy? The red beard guy. I had a conversation with him. He was there for 2 weeks and like he left. He's like, like the women don't realize it, bro. You got to stay longer than 2 weeks and like, but it's a lot better than.
Don't even get me started about him.
I'm part of a WhatsApp group with the red beard guy. He struggled in Paraguay too. So I'll just throw that out there.
Really?
But I was in Guadalajara. Yeah, I think he's absolutely right. The women there have their shit together. Like I met some like nurses or in the financial industry. They got their own apartments out there. And also, here's another thing a lot of people don't talk about. Paraguay, a lot of the women talk poorly about their local men, right? So they like foreigners, but in Guadalajara, that doesn't happen. Like a lot of the men there have their shit together too. So you're not just competing against other foreigners, you're competing against like, good looking Mexican men with their shit together. So that's why it's a little more of a difficult dating market.
Yeah, it's very true. I don't think you get a pass because even myself, I have family. I know Ulysses has family, but I have family outside in the smaller towns. But even then, I don't think the women look in the same eyes with because the men there like it's been said before, there's men that are well off that have professional roles. And yeah, there's beautiful. I mean, from my times being out like near Guadalajara or Los Altos, which is the northeastern part of Jalisco, you have some of the most beautiful women that I recall seeing the many times I've been out there as a kid and even as an adult. And you'll find like very attractive, very like women that are just they come from really well-off families or just middle-class families. Um, and they look for a certain type of guy. They don't just look for any scrub or any particular person.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
they could compete with the women from Medellin, bro. And as far as the looks department as well, some of the women here,
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're beautiful. Yeah,
smoke shows. Very
yeah.
beautiful. I'd say that, and Ulysses, maybe if you saw this too, but I think like feminism's becoming bigger there too. I felt like women, it felt like it was, they weren't too far off from women in the States, my opinion, like the mindset as far as like the amount of feminism and Western values when it comes to that. Did you find that there to be true?
Um, it depends though. Like me personally, when I stayed here at first, like this is the first time I've been in the city center. Like I usually used to live by like a town, like maybe like 30 minutes away from the main city of Guadalajara. So I was always dealing with the rancheras. So like the ranchera girls are a lot more different than the city girls. I could promise you that. So now I'm
Yeah,
dealing
yeah.
with the city girls, and like I haven't really talked to them like that. But my experiences from the ranchera girls, I could tell you about the ranchera girls. They're very open minded. Like they're not feminine at all. They're like tough women and stuff like that. So like that feminine shit, like that doesn't matter to them. Like, but they're like down to earth, very friendly, and like they'll dance with you. Like you could go out with like let's say you go to like a wedding or whatever, like a party or something, you could go up to them and ask them for a dance, and they'll say yes. They're not stuck up. Now the city girls are a little bit more different though, and shit like so that's different. But people have to know the difference between the city girls that are the professionals and the ranchera girls that are like outside the city of Guadalajara. They're a lot. It's a lot different. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, I was in Colonia Americana, which is in the city.
yeah. Look at me, yeah.
Buck, what's up?
Go ahead, cook y'all, man. Give me a second so I can regale myself. So go ahead, cook y'all.
Yeah. Now, as far as the condos in Paraguay, how much, or in rent in general, how much are they running for, price wise?
You want to go, Ryan?
Well, I mean, I can't comment on condos. I mean, I've looked up condos, but I stay in a two bathroom duplex, built literally in 2024, and it's 376 a month. So brand new, amazing here in San Lorenzo. Condos might be double that. Um, yeah, if you want to comment on that, I haven't stayed downtown, but
Yeah. So I was in Villa Mora, maybe like a 7 minute walk to Shopping Mariscal. I love that area. It's super walkable. So if you want a nice place, if you want like a 2 bedroom with a balcony and a nice view and a gym and a pool and a concierge and all the bells and whistles, you're paying at least $1,000 USD. But you can pay much less than that. You can get by with like 500 for, even a decent 1 bedroom. So it just depends what you want and where you want to be.
Okay. Say the downtown area. What are we looking at price wise?
So there's two downtown areas. There's the nice downtown area, like Villa Mora, Las Lomas, and then there's like the old downtown area. Did you mean the nice part?
Yeah, the newer downtown area, the nice one, not the old one.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. So nice 2 bedroom, I was paying $1,000. That's actually a good deal. Because on Airbnb, that same 2 bedroom probably go for like 14, 15. I negotiated with the owner. I got cool with the owner, and she gave me a pretty good rate. So 2 bedroom for
but
$1,000.
if I could
Anything
just,
for about 1,000. Go ahead.
I mean, if I could just add on to what you said, I don't think a lot of people understand what you mean by like nice. I mean, yes, it's like nice, but you also have a balcony, and I'm guessing you also had a built-in grill in the wall, which is very common with a
Yeah.
lot of our new apartment buildings, like brand new grills that Americans would spend a couple $1,000 on. Also, and pretty much almost every single one now, there's a roof on top. There's also what are called quinchos, which
Right.
are areas you can rent out for family or friend parties.
Right.
There's also co-working spaces. So if you start
Right.
adding all that stuff up, it starts adding up to be another extra 500, $1,000 what you would pay in the States. So even though he's saying $1,000, like when you start including all those extra amenities, sometimes even parking underground, which is amazing to me. So you add all that stuff on, I mean, it's double, if not triple the value. So
What I would pay in the States is what you're saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
dude,
Yeah.
that same apartment in Boston would go for 3,500 easily.
Yeah.
Thirty
Hey
five hundred easily.
Ronan.
Yeah, so that's like 3 grand.
Hey Ronan. Sky King. He's in Lima. He was in Paraguay. Now he's in Lima. And this is another one of our brothers, positive brothers. He's traveling right now, and he's actually thinking about getting residency in Paraguay. He's just bouncing around that area right now, but he just bounced over to Lima, Peru. But
Lima's
he'll
great,
probably,
man. I love Lima.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
probably going to bounce back over to freaking Paraguay. I spoke to him. He's got to get his paperwork together. I'm going to start getting mines together probably sometime in the next couple of months. Because I'm going to be definitely looking at Paraguay big time.
As for Blueprint, I was going to mention, I think I had sent you, told you about like some of the condo or one project that I saw that was about 10 minutes away from Paseo La Galeria, like kind of in the outskirts. And there's apartments going for like around 50, like starting to like 45, 50K up to 60, 65K. And it's got all the amenities. And even if you go further out, like where Ryan is located, because there's more development that I saw. Even if you just go like 10 minutes away from sort of where everything's at, you're gonna there's developments that they're gonna be building for maybe around half, not half, but maybe a lot less of that price. That's just some of what I saw. But I definitely plan to see more coming back around the next one. So
I'll be doing a lot more investigation on Paraguay. But I'm pretty much, like I said, I'm working on both countries right now, Mexico and Paraguay. So I wanted to also try to get Europe, but I don't think Europe's going to be feasible at this point. I might as well just stick with Latin America, kind of do what Alex is doing. But my countries will be both Mexico and Paraguay for me. It just makes total sense. Buck, are you done yet? You've been wanting to come up here, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
No,
gentlemen,
I'm done. I'm just waiting for y'all to cook.
Oh, jump on in,
Yeah,
man.
it,
This is freaking,
yeah.
like
I didn't want
hopscotch,
to.
bro. Jump
I
on
didn't want to
in.
come off as disrespectful, but y'all were just cooking, man. Man,
hey, gentlemen, I'm sorry, real quick.
go
I got
ahead.
to peace out. Yeah, I got to get going. But man, this has been a wonderful conversation. And man, it's great to get to know y'all for sure. I hope we get to do this again.
Oh,
Um,
definitely, definitely.
yes,
I like to.
no, and
I'm bringing in all the positive brothers that's traveling and relocating overseas in this channel. So I'm boosting your channel up as well. So that's what I'm about, man. So
appreciate that.
Yeah.
No, man,
yeah.
and excellent breakdown too. Between Colombia and Paraguay. I've never been to Colombia. Honestly, I'm not a well-traveled. Well, besides Paraguay. But beyond that, I'm really not. So that was excellent seeing, but in a serious way, right? Like the comparisons, right? Back to back. So it's super cool, man. If y'all wonder what I'm eating, lady right here just made a guiso, right? Which is rice and chicken. Anyways, I'm gonna learn y'all one word, just one word in Guarani, right? So when a lady makes you something and you like it, or in a restaurant, you say "eterei." Heterei. It means riquísimo. It means very good.
Yeah.
So if y'all
Nice.
down in Paraguay and you like the food, make sure you like rub your belly and say heterei. Yeah, they'll love you. They'll love you for that. So,
Nice. Good tip. Good
anyways,
tip.
I
All
gotta get going,
right.
y'all.
Nice meeting you,
Man,
bro.
it's like nice to
Nice,
hell
nice
yeah.
meeting you,
Yeah.
Ryan. We'll be in
Yeah.
touch,
Hope
man.
for sure, for sure. All right, y'all. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be out.
Right.
Yeah, just to
Right.
piggyback on Ryan, just to piggyback, I'm gonna head out too, guys. It's
Mhm.
8:30 for me here in Colombia, but this is
That's
really
cool.
good. I hope I'm
Thanks for
down to do it
coming, man. I
again.
appreciate it.
Appreciate you. So have a good night.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, man. That's what I'm gonna be starting doing is bringing all you positive brothers out here that's doing like positive stuff in terms of you know, traveling and stuff like that, because you know we want to find those type of brothers out here, because me and Buck, we were on Andrew's show this morning, and there's still more shenanigans, and it gets just new stuff every day that
I'm sorry, but it just happens. Just like it's just entertaining at this point, man. It's like watching like almost like you remember the old comedy Mad TV, but like in the passport group page though. That's what it is to me. Just dumb shit, man.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's just gotten to a point right now. It's just like it's ridiculous at
But
this.
it you say it makes you want to stay away from Americans though when you travel? You just kind of look at that you're like, I'm good, bro. Like,
Dude,
I
I'm
agree.
not even talking about the geopolitics stuff that's going on, man. That's just what it is. But some of these dudes that are traveling now, man, it just that's why I was glad that Ryan put out that this is not a pay for play type of situation, and that
Yes,
you will get
yes.
people, people will get pissed off when you come down for that stuff, and
Hmm.
people get mad. And I'm glad to see that there is a resistance, not just in Paraguay, but also in Mexico City when guys go down there to try that shit.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that, because
I mean,
now
well,
that
they can't do it because, like I said, like over here, like I think somebody can be like, oh, don't give Guadalajara as a secret. I'm like, bro, the women over here have money. Shout out to QB flexing, but one of the homegirls that picked us up that was with us in our group, she had like a SUV that was worth at least like 50, 60K, brand new car. Like, bro, those are the type of women that are here. And so that's why I'm just like, bro, these guys ain't gonna mess nothing up because these women ain't gonna give them the time of day. You got girls that have like brand new cars, their own apartments, their own houses in some cases. They're professionals, their families have money, they have US visas, they've been to Europe. Like I look at my cousins, they've all studied abroad in Europe. And so they're not gonna be impressed by you coming over here. They're already gonna see through your bullshit. So that's why these guys would never come over here to this city, specifically Guadalajara. It's a high
or,
class city.
or even Mexico City to some degree, because
Yeah.
that's an international hub.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. There's a lot of cities in Mexico that the only city that they go to is TJ, I think. But even then, I don't think they go in large numbers anymore. I think now they go to like Colombia now or Sosur or whatever they're going to. So
You
Yeah,
know
because
what happened?
go ahead, Buck.
The Miami crowd. What happened was like the crowd that used to go to Miami for spring break are now going to these Cartagena, Sosua, DR. So the the
bro, I
crowd has
I, I
shifted.
I I used to live in Miami. I went to UM, bro. And let me tell you, like if you ever have any friends that live in Miami but they really live there, they freaking hate South Beach because of that, bro. They don't even go to South Beach. All the locals they go to Brickell
But
or they go to Windward or
but have
somewhere
you have
areas.
you heard recently what happened in South Beach? They closed down spring break on
Yeah,
South
yeah, yeah,
Beach.
yeah, yeah. Of course,
Yeah.
yeah. I saw. Yeah, of course, yeah. Because people ghetto fight. If I haven't been in Miami in years, but this is like I'm talking about like 2017 was when I left, and I remember 2017, 2016, like seeing shenanigans. Like I saw a girl giving a dude head in the middle of the road, and people just filming it.
Oh,
Like it was like yeah, man. Like it was like nothing, and then people just like taking pictures, people laughing, cheering it on, and I saw fights. I saw girls fighting each other. So I just think like it eventually got to the point where the locals and the officials are just like enough is enough. And
there was
so
a there
Yo,
was a
because back
shooting.
in
There
the
was a shooting
day,
once too.
that was like the San Tropez, South Beach. It wasn't like that. It was very fashionable
yeah, it was.
back
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
day. But I start to see that ghetto stuff when I used to live down there. And I haven't lived there since 2001. I left in 2001,
Mm.
right after the towers fell.
Oh man, wow.
I went back to New York.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
locals hate South Beach, bro. Like for sure. Like I could tell you some stories, man. It's definitely been ghettofied. Well, I don't know. Maybe they'll stop going, but I think now they're gonna be going to like Medellin. But they're getting like, unfortunately, a lot of these guys are getting drugged and deleted when they're going to Colombia. It's so dangerous, man. And I think I've been sharing the stories with y'all. Right? I think I shared with Aaron the other day, but actually today they caught another gang in Loretta. It's one of the clubs, like people working in the club like scamming like the foreigners there and like taking their money and stuff like that. They arrested like 15 people. So that's like a second club in less than 2 weeks that gets busted. The first was in Loretta's where the foreigners don't even go, and now this one's in Paqueyeres where the foreigners go.
Yeah,
yeah,
and then also Ulysses, I sent you that clip. I don't know the context to it, but it was like out of Medellin, and one guy was stabbing or trying to stab another guy like outside of a building or something, and it was like in broad daylight. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think today finally some Americans got justice. I think like they drugged three American soldiers like 2 years ago or a few years ago, and they got convictions. Like one guy got 48 years, and I just started laughing like, hell yeah, bro. I was like, man, but I wish they would do that to more like the people that are drugging. But three guys were extradited, one from Chile, two Colombians, and they all got like over 20 years plus, man.
yeah,
So let
Federal.
me ask you this. Let me ask you this. How's Cali? Is it safe for a tourist to go over there? Let's just say if they stay in the north side, is it somewhere where you can just stay low? Because I don't want to see any tourists. I want to go there. How's Cali?
Cali, Colombia.
Yeah,
Bro, Cali's like the most dangerous city in Colombia, fool. I think there's good zones there, fool, but anywhere you could get robbed. You know who Rob is, right? The guy that used to come on my channel.
yeah.
You remember like one time he said like he got robbed in the Stratus 5 neighborhood by like two mortals. They pulled up, it was like four dudes. And so it doesn't matter whatever you're at, you could get got in Cali. And but most likely like if you go over there and you're like careful how you move, like you're not walking around, you just go from point A to point B. Like let's say you walk out your house, you go inside your Uber and you go straight to Hooters or you go to like the nightlife or whatever. You're not messing around and you'll be all right, bro. But it's
Uh,
like it's
you,
you got to be on
is
your
it
toes, bro.
is it more? You got to be careful than Medellin, or they're both about the same?
I think it's just as dangerous, bro. Just as dangerous. But I will tell you this: it's like more like more. It has a different culture than Medellin. It has a salsa culture. People are more open to talking to you. Like foreigners are more. I mean, the locals are more friendlier. We don't have that stigma that we have in Medellin, and the women are a little bit more curvier. You like curvy women. The
Yeah.
heat
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oof,
you like Kirby.
that's
You like Kirby. The only thing I will say over there, they do drug a lot as well. But over there, they're worse because over there, they don't drug you the first night. They'll wait 6 months, 3 months to drug you. That's the bad thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. They
I
wait.
want
This
to
is
Another
laugh.
game.
Oof.
this is coming from. This is not even coming from me. This is coming from Andre. He said it many times. Like over there, they'll wait until Christmas time. They drug everybody or their birthday or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, they play the long
I
game over there.
don't. Yeah.
And
They
that's
play
I
the-
don't mean to. Now,
that's
so would you say like let's just say if I mentioned Medellin a couple times, would you say just like how's the Ubers? Do they use Ubers
Bro,
over
just
there?
go to the small towns. There's like small towns in Colombia that people never heard of. Like I don't say the names because I want to go to them next time. I don't want the ninjas going over there and fucking it up. But there's a lot. There's like if you like, what's one of them? Damn, I'm trying to think of the name. I can't even pronounce the name. But there's like several cities and they have populations of like they're kind of like the size of Pereira, like 300,000. But you'll be there, you'll be safe. It might not be the most entertaining city, but like you'll be like probably like the only foreigner there, and you could definitely meet a lot of women because like there's no competition. You won't have
Yeah.
that stigma. There'll be cheap apartments. It'll be safer. I'm gonna go ahead and do that next time I go. I think the city is called Ibagué or something like that. Somebody was telling
Yeah.
me to go there, Ibagué or something. It starts with a IBAGUE, something like that. But there's other cities as well. And I've been
No,
talking to
okay. Yeah. I get it. It's just keep a hush, man. But you know what it is. You don't want to blow up the spot, man. Just post it in a private chat, and keep it between because we don't want that one to go out. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah. Okay.
keep it in the private chat. But right now, let's just focus on Cali. Like You say, is there less tourists over there, or how
Yeah,
is it?
bro. The tourists that go there are like actually like the good kind. They're people and girls and guys that want to learn salsa. So they have a lot of like salsa dance studios. Hell, even in the hostels, they have dance studios and shit, dude. Like so people just go there just to learn salsa, bro. It's like more of an authentic, like real like traveler experience compared to Medellin, where people in Medellin just go there for like desmadre for like drinking and doing dumb shit. Over there in Cali, they go over there for like I want to learn salsa. I want to like dance. I want to like meet people. So they go for the right reasons. You understand?
That makes sense. Okay, how's the Uber? Does the Uber works over there?
Yeah, it's cheap.
Okay,
Just get
so
an
you
apartment that has AC because it's super hot. Apartments are super cheap, by the way. You can get like a big ass bedroom apartment for a week for maybe like $200, something like that, 250. A big ass one. I'm talking about like a really huge one compared to where Medellin, it will probably be double the price now. So it's cheaper. Yeah, the food's a
and would
lot
you
better too.
and would you say like get from point A to B, just don't be walking around late at night, or just
Yeah,
daytime?
hell
Can you
no. I
walk
would
around
never.
daytime?
I would never walk late at night anywhere. Fool. There's a strip of bars over there. Damn, I gotta give it to you later on the private chat. Like when I get the
Let's
name. Like
walk around in the chat. So can you walk around during the daytime?
you can like if you go to like the downtown area. I've walked many times, but I'm just saying like just be careful. Like so. I walk many times in the downtown central. Fool. I go and I have like a beer or I just go relax for a little bit, dude. But
Okay, so
Cali's a nice city, bro.
let's say somebody that likes to walk around. Is it like, how about in the morning? So can you like jog, run?
Oh,
How is it?
I mean, I used to jog when I was there. I stayed there for a whole month, and there was like a park where I was at, and I used to just like jog around the park. But I think you can, bro. But you just gotta just be aware of your surroundings, bro. So
Even the safe areas, they're like the areas that you're staying at.
I mean, I don't know. I think yes and no because remember Rob said that he got robbed at a Stratus 5 neighborhood. Like two mortals pulled up to him. Like I remember he was telling that story. I was like, holy shit. So,
Damn.
yeah.
This happened recently?
No, a few years ago. Remember, he's been living in Cali for about 11 years, so I don't know when it was. So
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah.
So, how's the women compared to Colombian, Medellin women?
They're curvier. They're more receptive as far as like they're a little bit like because is it considered a dangerous city? Sometimes they might be a little spooked if you talk to them like cold approach, but if they know that you're a foreigner, they'll be a little bit more open to talk to you. I met most of my women there through cold approach. Actually, I never used. I think I used Tinder just twice there, but I did most of the people I met there, I met through talking. Like I would meet them at their work or like like walking around, I would like approach them or whatever. So I think the cold approach is a lot better over there than I don't recommend Tinder at all. For hell no.
How's the what's the biggest malls over there you've been to? Do you usually approach them at the
Oh
mall?
no, I don't think I've gone to the mall yet. Nah, I haven't gone to the malls.
So how do you just call approach them in the street?
What was that?
You just call up approach them in the street, or what?
I no, I go to like Central, and so there's like a big market there. That's like their version of the mall. So there's like a bunch of stores that sell like a bunch of things. And you go there, you'll see it for like you can't miss it. It's in the downtown city center, bro. Like and it's like huge. And so everybody just walking like with their groceries or like they're shopping. And so you can meet women like that. I met like a Venezuelan girl like that was like selling coffee like that. I got her number. I went out with her. And I met another girl that was my Uber driver. I got her number and I went out with her like a day later. So you could do that, bro. Just like the code approach. But remember, like they might be standoffish at first, for safety reasons. But if they figure out that you're a foreigner, they'll just like let their guard down a little bit more. They'll relax. But you could definitely meet them like I said, like in the shopping areas, bro. The code approach works there, bro. You just can't be shy, bro.
How's the nightlife in the
Nightlife is great, bro. A lot of salsa, bro. If you like to dance, bro, that's the place to go to, for sure.
what if you can't dance salsa? Like,
Oof, bro. Bro. Come on, bro. You gotta take some salsa lessons, bro. Like you get like a hot
You just
instructor.
gotta try.
Pair like just
You
pay
gotta
like
put yourself
15
out there.
bucks, bro. Just 15 bucks and take like 2 hour lesson, bro. And that's how you do it. You go cold approach a girl at the table, like, hey, I'm learning salsa. You don't mind like showing me a little bit. Yeah. You break the ice like that. What's the worst you're gonna say? No.
so you
So
just like, let's just say you go to a salsa club. So you just approach one of them and just say, "Hey, come teach me," or how is it?
yeah, of course, bro. But you want to take some lessons first. You don't want to just be like, cold like your feet. So take like, when you get over there. just take some lessons or whatever. You could get a female instructor and take like 2 or 3 lessons. You just get the basics down and be like, all right, like this is good enough for me. And like, you're not really trying to learn anyways, bro. You're just trying to like meet women over there, right? So you just like dance a little
Yeah.
bit with them. I mean, that's how you get it, dude.
Okay.
Ulysses, I'll kind of drop in a bit. Yeah, like I mean, I can say from experience, because I used to be in a social, like I used to dance bachata, frequently, like for about 2 years, close to 2 years. So I did bachata and salsa, so I would dance both here in the States, like social, going to socials as they call it. So I would dance in Mexico, right across the border where I live, and then also here in the States, and then also one trip that I took out in Playa del Carmen. It was for International Congress, um, and all that. But I will say, like back then, this was like 2 3 years back when I was when I was frequently dancing. Dancing is like one of the best ways to break the ice, especially with women. Um,
Facts,
but
facts.
but it literally, I could tell from my experiences, it's a confidence booster. Even if you just know the basics, like even if you don't have, I'm not the, I was never the one to be like to perform on stage or anything like that. I just wanted to learn, and even then, even now recently, like I'm still open to it, especially if I travel overseas, because it's just more fun. It's part of the culture. But like for you, Buck, like if you're not big on dancing, I'll tell you from my experience in Paraguay, they're not they like to dance, but it's more of like they like to do karaoke. So like they sing and stuff like that. Dancing is kind of also part of it, but the dance culture is not as big as I would assume like in Colombia, and then maybe Mexico as well. 'Cause dancing and singing go hand in hand, especially in Mexico.
Yeah, it is. I went to the dance clubs when I was in Medellin just twice, and I noticed like I took like the one that was like more advanced, so I had to like stand out for like a minute because I was like, "Ah, this is too much." But I
Yeah,
still stayed there, and like I saw a lot of guys getting the girls' numbers, dude. Like they'll go to the
yeah,
girl and like, and I was just looking at them. These girls are beautiful, bro. Like good looking women, and it's
super.
just like, so that's the best way to do it, bro. It's better than Tinder. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I will say Ulysses like that. This was 2 years, over 2 years back when I went. Um, Playa del Carmen has one of like the best from my personal point of view, and from what I've heard from others say. Playa del Carmen, which is Quintana Roo, has one of the best scenes for dancing, surprisingly, because as you already know, this is like Mexico is full of foreigners as it is, not just Mexicans alike, but you got people from like Venezuela or from all over Latin America, from like Brazil, Chile, Uruguay, and then you have like more recently you got a lot of like Russians, Ukrainians, people from Europe that live in Playa del Carmen like full time or part time out of the year. So even people that are not like professional or like serious dancers, they just go with friends or they just go to meet people, right? It's literally it's like a social activity, and like Ulysses said, it literally tops anything above Tinder or using these dating apps because you're putting yourself out there. Um, that's like the scariest thing. I can tell from experience because I started off like that. I didn't know anybody. I literally like when I started out, I started going by myself. Eventually, I found my group of friends, a group of people that would dance and stuff. But it's a big confidence booster. If that's not your thing, but you know, there's other places that are just not. They're not so much about dancing like Paraguay. From my experience, from what I saw. But if it's like Mexico, Colombia, yeah, dancing's a huge thing in those places.
Now, Ulysses, would you suggest like hiring a bodyguard because it's cheap out there in
Nah, nah,
Cali?
it's not that dangerous, bro. Like, nah. You walk in
That's
Central, for you see like a bunch of families walking, like women and kids, and like, and it's like it's hot, bro. Cali's not doesn't have the same beauty as like the other cities in Colombia, like for example, Medellin, Pereira, or hell, even Bogota. But it still has the unique like salsa culture, bro. So if you really want to like just like I want to try something new, away from the beaten path. I want to take some lessons, go to a salsa club, and like maybe meet like some people there. You will, by the way, if you do that. If you take a
Yeah.
few lessons and you
I
code
think you
approach
cut
a
off.
few, huh?
You cut off.
Oh, my bad, my bad, my bad. Can you hear me now?
We are loud and clear right now.
All right, yeah, just go off the beaten path. Just take some classes and go to a salsa club, bro. And like that's how my one of my boys did it the other day. He was telling me in Cali, and so I think you'll have success, bro. And the women over there are super curvy. There's a lot of Afro Latinas there too. Like,
Oof. Oof.
yeah,
Yes. And
beautiful, beautiful,
yeah, and they're
beautiful.
curvy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Who's more approachable, the Afro Latinos or the
I think
lighter skin ones?
The Afro ones, bro. The Afro ones are
Okay.
good looking, good looking ones too, bro. I'm not gonna say
Are they
they're
more
not.
approachable? Like, how is it? Because I heard that there's a mixed bag. Because they don't like us like that, especially us black guys. So how is it coming from? Like the Afro Latinos? Is it are they more friendlier or what?
I think they're more friendlier, bro, for sure. Always, bro. I always find
Okay.
them the more friendlier in every country I gone to. If I could be completely honest with you. But over
Okay.
there, the women are super curvy. The food's really delicious. The nightlife is good too. Like if you take some lessons and you want to break the ice with some women and you take them dancing or whatever, like don't feel ashamed. Remember, like if you do these simple steps, you're gonna be 10 times ahead of everybody else that goes to Colombia, bro. Because everybody else is just being lazy. What are they doing? They're getting on Tinder. They're trying to flex on the social media, bro. Forget all that shit, bro. Take some lessons, bro. And you could even sometimes the instructors will even take you to the clubs or whatever with them or whatever. And you can meet people for like you can break the ice like that, bro. Like the women are very beautiful over there too as hell, dude. But be careful. Don't be taking no random girls like back home the first night, though, bro, for sure. Because there's not a hookup culture in Colombia, no matter what everybody says, right? So your safety is number one, right? So I would suggest you get a place that has a security, and if you do bring somebody, like always tell the guard, like, hey, you know what? This person comes out when I come out as well, like at the same time. And you could tip the guard like maybe like 50 mil pesos, which is $10, and that goes a long way for them as well. You take care of the security guards, and believe me when I tell you, they're going to take care of you as well.
Now I have a
Uh,
question. What about in terms of meeting women in Guadalajara? What the same information you gave for Cali, does that apply also with
Man, I haven't
women?
even been going out here like that. Like, I think if I'm gonna start going out, maybe tomorrow. I go to this one karaoke place, so that's gonna be the first time I go out. And I've been working on my health here. I dropped a lot of weight now, thank God. But
Okay.
so yeah, I'm gonna go Saturday to the place. I think I posted right on IG, so I'm gonna go there and start checking it out. So I think maybe after 2 weeks, I could give you like a better information. But you can meet women over here like anywhere, man. I just haven't been talking. Like I said, I'm just focusing on my health and getting this paperwork done. But you could like walk down the street in Guadalajara and see the most beautiful girl just walking her dog, and you can meet women like that as well. Now I haven't cold approached anybody here, so I can't really comment. But my experience dates like a decade ago because, like, I'm telling them where I used to live, and Guadalajara was like outside of Guadalajara in the country zone, and so the girls that I was meeting were the what we call the rancheras. Now I'm over here like in the city center where like the women over here have like more money, more prestige. But I think in the next 2 weeks, I could give y'all like a better maybe assessment. I think. But I think over here you could definitely cold approach women. I wouldn't listen to Red Beer. I think maybe they just thought he was off. And the women over here are very approachable, but like I said, they got their shit together, so they can smell like if a guy's just like, like how would you say, like just on this bum shit. So yeah.
Yeah. Now,
that's good. That's good.
that's great. Well, we're coming up on 2 hours, dude. Anybody got anything last to say before I close it up? Because this has been a really, really insightful
Yeah.
conversation, man. And I appreciate the guys coming up. Aaron, Ryan, and Alex for bringing more insight and more depth to Paraguay, and definitely demystifying a lot of stuff, especially the whole pay for play stuff in Paraguay, because I think that's going to keep a lot of the Pookies and Ray Rays out of here.
100%.
We'll start with Buck. You got anything to say, Buck?
Yeah, guys, just go out there to just enjoy yourself. Look for avenues other than nightlife and women. Look for business opportunities. Sometimes the world is not just about women. Just it can be investment opportunities. But most of all, stay safe, have fun, enjoy yourself.
All right, thanks, man. Ulysses, you got anything last?
The same thing. Just stay safe, guys. Be try to make friends with people. Always have like an open mind. Go off the beaten path. Whether it's taking some dancing classes, believe it or not, or maybe even a hiking group, or even a rollerblading. Whatever it is, it's not just about meeting women. It's about meeting locals and making those interactions. Because most guys, I would say 90% of foreigners ain't doing that. So if you do like anything that's like outdoor hiking, volunteering, dancing, even something that's like rollerblading in the group or something like that, if you go travel, even if it's for a day, you're gonna make those connections. So I would just say go off the beaten path and try something new. So and also be careful with like some of the stuff that's going on, like as far as like the passport bros, like just stay away from that, guys. You don't want that name attached to you, man.
Facts,
Yeah.
facts.
That's all I gotta
Aaron,
say.
Aaron, thanks for showing up and bringing your insight on this. What do you got to say last?
Yeah, man. I mean, same thing that Ulysses and Buck said, but I think the last thing guaranteed for sure is to get onto the residency, or at least get on that plan B. And by default, doing that, you get the board for any real estate opportunities or just opportunities to be in the country legally and that sort of thing. I know myself, I have Mexico and Paraguay as part of my arsenal plan, like for overseas, like living, real estate, lifestyle. But get on it for anybody who's new to this space or has just found Passport Blueprints channel or Ryan's channel, Alex's or mine. Get on it or do research. Um, the biggest thing is to try to narrow down and look for at least one or two countries that you want to get a residency. That has a residency that is easy to get, that is fiscally accessible, meaning that like it's not expensive, because it's gonna be great for the long run, whether you're in later years, whether you're just starting out. But my advice, start as soon.
Yeah, man, that's the cool thing. Thanks, brother. I appreciate you. Um, my final words to you guys is this, man. Um, you can do what the rest of these guys are doing and going overseas for pay for play, or you can just find yourself a residency and make it at home, because right now, economically, things ain't working out so well here. We don't know what the future is going to be like. We're seeing a lot of mass layoffs. Um, everything is getting expensive. So we got to keep those in mind, bro. We can travel till we blue in our face, but that ain't going to do us any damn good. Um, traveling is getting expensive, and all you're doing is burning money. Uh, right now, my focus is just finding potential homes where I can call camp, just in case if things get really out of whack. I, stocking up my money and just having my second residency someplace else. So you might want to start thinking in terms of those, in terms of maybe I need to do the same thing, and be very diligent in your research about choosing where you want to go, because some of these countries these guys are going, you get hit with various taxes, as we talked about, double taxations, quality of life. And, you don't know whether the getting these residencies is going to be easy peasy or difficult or what have you. So those are my 2 cents, brothers. And ladies, if you're watching this as well, same thing applies to you, ladies, if you're doing it, because we have some ladies that are moving overseas as well. But leave that ghetto stuff at home, because these countries ain't tolerating it, and they will let you know in a heartbeat. So that being said, thank you guys for showing up. I greatly appreciate it. Hope you got some value into this. And again, let's support our YouTubers that came on This is the channel for Alex C. Rodriguez. He's new to the whole YouTube space. Let's go subscribe to his channel. Let's support him. This is My Best Life Paraguay, which was Ryan. Let's go support that brother as well. He has some great information if you want to look into Paraguay. And also we have Aaron, our Hispanic expat. Let's support him as well. Also, this is my second channel that I have, Passport Venturer, where I'll be putting out my travel hacks and stuff from now on. Please support that channel as well. I greatly appreciate it. Also, I still have the Amazon store. If you want to purchase stuff, please, I greatly would appreciate you guys. Go down there, purchase something from there. Make my life easy. All the proceeds will go back into the channel. I'm not an e-beggar like some of these dudes are doing. I'm actually working. Okay. So again, greatly appreciate you guys, and I will catch you later. Bye.